Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Broadway Jets YouTube channel. You'll know me from Twitter as NYJ Mike. I'm joined as always by the master of receipts, NYJ Matt. And Matt, today is day 3 of the 2024 NFL Draft. The Jets have selected 6 of the 7 guys they're likely to take. They could always make a trade now. The draft is still live. We'll chop it up, give our thoughts. It's been exciting so far.
It's been a fun day 3. If you are here, don't forget to hit subscribe. We are sponsored by Jet X Factor. Mike, day 3 kicks off and they trade JFM, which is probably one of the top stories that we'll get into. But we didn't talk about the Malachi Corley day 2 draft pick. Just an absolute beast, Mike. Absolute beast, running over people. A good comp and a good fit to what the Jets need. A guy that in one game last year didn't catch a single pass over the 2-yard line or 2 yards from scrimmage and had 150 total yards after the catch. Just a beast, and he's happy to be a Jet. So, Mike, any initial take on Malachi Corley fitting in probably to wide receiver 3 or 4 immediately?
Yeah, the solid Douglas stuff was cool. I like that. They're texting each other in the morning. Put that out. That's funny. Like, throw that into the ethers of the world. Woody Johnson confirmed in the phone call with Corley. He's like, hey, it's Woody Johnson. Before he's like, I'm going to hand it to my brother Chris. Before he did that, he was like, we really liked you. We tried to move up a bunch of times. Seems good, man. I looked at his stats. They're better. So the Yak King is his whole thing that everyone's talking about.
Amazing nickname.
Great nickname. And I looked at his stats, though. They're better than you would think, right? You hear the Yak King. I don't know. He's gadget guy, whatever. He had 100 catches one year. He has 1,000 yards. So I think he had 11 touchdowns his junior year. So, Western Kentucky, whatever, take a grain of salt. But, yeah, the film looks cool. The like 7 highlights that I've seen are cool.
But everyone loved him. Like, there's no one I trust more in the draft process than Connor Rogers. That was one of his guys. And then the whole time leading up to it, you know they're going to go receiver, and they move up just a little bit to get the guy that they really want. I love it. There's something cool about him and Rogers talking immediately after the pick too. Malachi Corley's like, I'm going to live in your guest house during the entire offseason. Just good vibes. Very good vibes.
Rogers is really on top of his just everything.
He's locked in, man.
He's locked in. And when you hear Rogers do interviews about the Jets, it's very well thought out. Every guy on the roster, even when he was talking about the tight ends the other day when the Jets took Fashanu, he went on, I think it was McAfee's show, and he's just talking. He's like, we like our tight end room, Conklin, Ruckert, talking about Kenny Yeboah, talking about Zach Kuntz when they were playing on scout team last year together. So, just good vibes, Matt. I do. Yeah. So your wide receiver room is probably relatively set. They can make a move. I am curious, Matt. We talked about this with Connor Hughes a couple days ago. It was, if the Jets take a tackle, do they supplement outside of the draft and get a receiver into the building? And if the Jets took a receiver, would they supplement and bring a tackle in? I don't know if you do those kind of things anymore. There was always likely that you were going to take a tackle and a receiver in the draft, but obviously only one in the first round. So you took Fashanu. Did they try to still get Corey Davis, who apparently was mad that the Jets signed Allen Lazard last year? That was the whole story Connor told us.
You can be flexible, right? And to your point, anything's on the table now. The JFM move, you free up about $7 million this year, so you can make another move at safety. We'll talk about JFM. We'll talk about it. I do want to bring up one thing. I pulled a receipt yesterday on Twitter, and a lot of people DM me, and they were saying, like, I hope you don't find old bad takes. I want to be very clear. Having a bad take is not a receipt. I thought the Jets in 2020 were going to be a wild card team. I thought Sam Darnold was going to be the truth. What a receipt is, if I said Sam Darnold is a terrible quarterback and he goes off, and like, oh, I always knew he was great. Like, that is where the inconsistency lies. So
your tweet of you, whatever, like in the edge of the globe with a bunch of receipts pouring out of your pockets, one man searching for consistency.
Just
Good
just be
tweet.
consistent. And again, a 20 you could hate the pick at 11. Like I love the Olu pick. You could hate it and you could say I wanted Bowers. That's your take, perfectly fine. But when you cross that line and you're shitting on him and calling it a terrible pick, but you loved it 4 months ago, like that's where I'm like, hey, we just need to be a little more consistent, right? Not also when I pull receipts, I don't like attack people. I'm just like, here's what happened. So Olu day 1, Malachi day 2, and the JFM trade, it comes down to money. He's a good enough player where he's way better than a 6th-round pick. And it's almost as if they said, hey, you might play 35% of snaps now after the Reddick trade, maybe even less when you have Jermaine and you want to get McDonald back out there. The Jets' run defense takes a hit. Overall, D-line takes a huge hit. And it felt like the writing was on the wall. And maybe he wanted out when he heard about the playing time. Or maybe they want to do more with that money. So, Mike, JFM's a great Jet. Really a great Jet.
Yes, he's all terrific.
He didn't maybe live up past that second contract, but he earned that second contract and was a fine Jet after it. So
yeah, he was good, man.
Nothing but good wishes.
He's a good player. The problem is the timing is weird to me. So like, you're now the draft is over. You are obviously done with free agency. You can still sign guys, but whoever's left, I don't know. It's weird. You're in a win now mode. You had the worst part of your defense last year by far was the ruggedness and the run defense. And I love the offseason map, but did they get better in those areas? Probably not. Probably worse overall now with this move. So that concerns me. If a team is going to be able to run the ball directly straight, the Jets are going to play their 4 wide front that they love to run. And what are you going to put? You're going to put McDonald now, who I'm glad McDonald will get more playing time. But it's going to be McDonald, Quinnen, Jermaine Johnson, and Hassan Reddick is not the greatest run-stopping front of all time. I don't love it. I don't understand. Why not keep everybody, go for the gusto this year?
Yeah.
It's clearly, to your point, Matt, it's not worth paying JFM $16 million to play something like 35 to 50% of the snaps. But, fit-wise, it was good. So I'm curious to see what they do now. If they turn around and use that money to get another safety like a Justin Simmons, or if they make some kind of trade. But you need now more beef up front. Kinlaw doesn't profile as a run defender. That Linky Fotu, I don't know. Is he going to be an impact guy,
Initial reaction, don't love it, but it's one of the things you probably have to wait a month or two and see what they do after it. Feel a little bit better about it. But again, farewell, JFM. And then
good
Mike,
Jet.
Good Jet. Don't, outside of like some bonehead roughing the passer penalties.
Yeah, there were some of them. The one against the Bengals comes to mind, 2022. That was cheap. The one against the Patriots is the worst one, where the Michael Carter pick 6. That one is cursed. We don't talk about that. So yeah, happy trails. Look, great Jet. R.I.P. He's gone
forever.
Gone forever. Aaron Hernandez.
So day 3, we'll hit the, we won't maybe go in order, but right off the bat, it's Braylon Allen and Isaiah Davis. So you bring in 2 running backs. Braylon Allen, again, another guy that top 4 running back in the draft. People had him anywhere ranged from like 2 to 5, and just played as a true freshman when he was 17 years old, 3,500 total yards, a true workhorse, and a guy that got 1 million carries at Wisconsin, who is known for churning out great running backs. And
Jonathan
behind
Taylor.
Joe Tippmann again. Yeah, Jonathan Taylor is another example of a Wisco running back that comes in, played a ton. So Braylon Allen, again, the videos of him working out are hilarious, like absolutely jacked, and a perfect compliment to Breece Hall. And when I said early on that, hey, they need to get running back 2 today, a lot of people were like, what about Izzy? And yeah, Izzy's like a home run hitter, but the reason he couldn't play is he didn't know how to pass pro. Like Braylon Allen, a guy who's now played almost 3 full years in college football, is a guy that has pass pro background, and he could be a great fit with Breece Hall. So I day 3, when that pick goes in, I'm like, they're cooking with gas today. Like a very good move, and it took them a while to make a 4th-round pick. You got a great tweet that Joe Douglas didn't know he was allowed to draft in the 4th round, but I like that pick. Mike, thoughts on Braylon Allen before we talk about Isaiah Davis?
I went into the day. So you went into the day with a few quote unquote needs. You tweeted it yesterday. Good roster construction because the Jets needs coming into today, or basically into yesterday. You take a receiver, but it was running back 2 or 3, cornerback 6. We're talking like defensive lineman number whatever, just straight depth. Maybe another interior offensive lineman. Like some of the guys that are being drafted now probably don't even fit on the roster, especially if the Jets are going to bring in some undrafted guys that they like, if they're going to sign another couple of veteran guys. So I preferred if the Jets were going to do something in the veteran market, I would have wanted a running back 2, like Ezekiel Elliott kind of guy, knows what he's doing, pass protector, can get you that 1 or 2 tough yards. But it seems like this Braylon Allen profiles is that kind of guy, so that's fine. I'm fine with that. You want to take another running back, then a couple shots at the dartboard, that's fine. It's more about position than the guy at this time. Then you look into their skill set. So Braylon Allen does fit. I'm happy with it. Bulk up the running back room. I still wouldn't mind adding a veteran. You could practice squad some of these guys, if you have to. So, but just in case, if Brees goes down, you want a guy who has been in some kind of lead back situation before.
It's such a fun pick, Mike, and it's an exciting pick. I don't know why. Like, this is the one that it stood out to me. It's like, okay, I wanted them to draft all offensive star, and they're doing it. Real quick on Isaiah Davis, a guy that I won't pretend that I have any idea that I knew who he was an hour ago. Seems like a more of a bully back. And do you need to take him? Could you take in like Brendan Rice or another guy like Malik Washington? I don't know, right? Add another receiver, but it's one of those picks that I'll never get mad about. A random day 3 pick. If they like him, they like him. So
right,
I have nothing else on Isaiah Davis.
It's like when I'm playing Madden, drafting some guys. I'm like, man, there's 2 running backs. I scouted both of them. I'll just take both of them if I have 2 picks. I don't want to be screwed if one of them is great, one of them's not. So Joe Douglas with the Madden strategy. Everything goes back to Madden, dude. By the way, if anyone's listening to this and you think you could take me on in Madden, shoot a DM. Maybe subscribe to the channel. Shoot a DM to NYJ Mike. But I only play 10-minute quarters, all Madden. That's my deal. I'll stream it for the world.
I am waiting on a Brian Cos reply tweet. How do you not just reply at all? Like, how do you just ignore the fact that I made a highlight video of your draft tweets? Did you watch it yet?
No, I didn't see it.
Oh my god, Mike! I made a video.
I didn't see it. No, I was having lunch with my grandmother.
You know the tweets that's like "fuck it" blank highlights.
Yeah,
and it's like it was I did "fuck it" Brian Cos draft, and all the tweets are like, the Jets are trading back. Who is it for? ? Or like, this is terrible. It's like a 30-second video.
I'm just complaining about shit.
I tweeted it an hour ago. It has 700 likes and like 75 retweets. Connor Hughes retweeted it.
He could have avoided all this. He could have not made sandwich comments. He could have also answered your other funny tweet where I tweeted at him that he's welcome to come onto the pod, defend himself. And you said, I'm busy that day, which is funny.
Mike, imagine at work, your boss saw you tweet like, I can't stand I have to work like an extra hour because the Jets have a 7th round pick, or in the preseason game, they're like, please hand the ball up so we can go home. Like, I know it's a job. I get that. Yeah. You have a job that thousands of people across the country would kill for, and it's covering the NFL. So maybe be self-aware that your job sometimes is going to training camp practice at 8 a.m. and you're home by 1 o'clock and you have to write one article. And that one article is just nonsense. You bring nothing to the table. You haven't broken a story since Dow Loggins took over play calling in 2020. So it pisses me off when they complain about it, which is a true story. That's the last thing Brian Cos ever broke, was like in the first quarter of that game. But
Connor tweets have been funny about it too, where he's yelling at Drew from Jersey or whoever tweeted that they want the Jets to keep the final pick of the draft to make them stay there longer.
Mike, one thing I'm gonna do next week is I want to do a full tier ranking of the entire 2024 roster as it stands post draft. That'd be very fun. We'll bring someone on to do it. I only have 5 minutes. I have to bounce, but 2 more players we have to talk about. Jordan Travis was my hand-picked day 3 quarterback for 4 months now. It was a guy that I wanted the
So
Jets to
sweet.
take. If you watched any of Florida State this year, he was unquestionable the best player on the field every time. Him and Keon Coleman had great rapport out there. He is 24, so he's not like a 21-year-old development quarterback, but now age and quarterbacks don't matter because people play until they're 44. So mobile, doesn't turn the ball over, doesn't have like the biggest arm ever, but maybe that's who the Jets always try to go for and it doesn't work out. Just a perfect quarterback 3 that you have an arm in the offseason.
Yeah.
You can't go in the offseason with 2 quarterbacks. They'll have another quarterback too for training camp because you need people to throw the football. Just a great guy to learn behind Tyrod Taylor and Aaron Rodgers. High ceiling. Doesn't matter if he flares out in 2 years, right? It's a 6th-round pick or what was it, 5th-round pick for Jordan Travis. Always, always, always on day 3, take a shot at a quarterback that has a high ceiling. And I just freaking love this pick. Just what a fun way to start the draft is Olu, Corley, Braylon Allen, and Jordan Travis. It's just a freaking awesome 4 picks to start.
Those are some picks that would probably be popular mocked picks.
Yeah.
And then, the Jets get them. Those are fun. Man, yeah, another – like how much different is that guy is Jordan Travis than a guy like Bo Nix? Right? Is it so different that he has to go 4 rounds later? I don't know. There's obviously reasons teams like certain guys, yada, yada, yada. But really, like, is it that drastic of a thing? Probably not, and so you're
like, if he doesn't break his leg, is he a 2nd-round pick?
That's the other question, right? That's the, so, and you get him in the 5th, and it's not like he tore his, he straight up broke his leg, right?
He broke his leg.
It's not, it's better than if you tore your Achilles or you tear a muscle or a ligament or a tendon. I don't know if you could tear any other things.
And these are good guys. Like he's doing his press conference with the Jets, and he's wiping away tears when the video starts. He's like, I wanted this so bad. He's like, I wanted to play with Aaron Rodgers and the Jets.
Why would my grandmother make me get pizza with her today? Sick. I was trying to watch the 5th round of the draft.
Yeah, so we went through every pick. Lastly, Quantez Stiggers from CFL.
CFL, the Argonauts, right?
He didn't play college football. He also, like a Cinderella story, didn't go to college to help his dad out who was sick, then played in like the fan league football, then goes to CFL, wins outstanding rookie of the year for defense, and a guy that people have mocked that can play outside, inside, maybe at safety, and a great special teamer potentially. So literally a perfect guy to take in day 3. Perfect guy.
And exactly, the Jets needed a cornerback 6, even 5. Who else? So it's Sauce, Reed, Carter,
Eccles still kicking around.
Oh, Eccles must still be there because Bryce Hall is gone.
Yep.
They got to bring Craig James back because I was trying to figure out who CB5 was. I guess it's Eccles, which would be nice, especially when they played Tua and his 2 pick 6s against Tua. But no, this is good. I always like those guys too, where they produce in college or they produce, somewhere else. The only discouraging thing is it seems like these guys that played in other leagues. I know this is the first guy drafted in the CFL, but guys that produce in other leagues and then come to the NFL, you're like, man, like guy had like 12 sacks and whatever league, you should be able to. It makes sense. I don't know if there has been such success, any specific guy, but why not take a shot? Hopefully, I'm a little bit worried about the special teams other than the kicker punter, but we have a terrific coach and good kickers. So,
dude, Irv Charles is the best gunner in the NFL.
Remember Irv Charles was the first. Hardy went out. Irv Charles made an amazing play. I don't remember what game that
Broncos
was.
game.
Was it the Broncos game? And then he got cooked a couple times.
Yeah, but hey, there's one more draft
pick Chargers.
Left. There's one more draft pick left. The 7th-round pick, Mr. Irrelevant, meaning that Brian Costello has to stay at Florham Park until 7:00 on a Saturday.
Poor Costello, yeah. What do the Jets need? You don't really need anything. What a satisfying offseason, Matt.
I guess the one thing you do is you can find like a 340-pound Canadian defensive lineman, just draft him. Like maybe just that. Like the Nathan Shepard, even though he took him in the 3rd round.
Oh, he was old too. He was at least 24 when the Jets drafted him.
It always goes higher though. Like I'll tell that to people. Like he was 29 when they drafted him. Like I just keep making him older.
The Brandon Whedon of defensive linemen.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel good, Matt. I'm really excited. I don't love the JFM trade. I understand why they did it. I'm excited to see what the next move that they make based on that move is. If they like use his money to sign draft picks, which always seems fake, fuck that. I want a new player. They need another guy now. You have to have another guy. They have to get a fat, to your point, but hopefully not the literally 256th pick of the draft. Get a real nose tackle, another guy in the building.
Yeah. Yep. And we forgot to bring up one other thing. They traded a 4th round pick this year for a future 3rd from Detroit.
Yes.
I think Detroit is a phony team. I don't like Dan Campbell. I know everyone loves them. I hope they flare out next year, go 8-9, and we get like a mid-3rd round pick because of it. I can't wait to root. I can't wait to root against a team like we did with the Seahawks for so long.
Yeah. I was like, dude, it's basically a 2nd round pick. Even though the Lions will probably pick at the end of the 3rd round.
Yeah.
Man, that's a great pick. And kudos to Joe Douglas, who it's a wild move. You're clearly going to be fired if things don't go well. Making moves for next year is nice to see. So the Jets are in a good spot. Maybe you could use that pick, Matt, to trade for a guy midseason, package that with some other stuff, or before the season, or maybe they could use that pick to get a replacement for JFM. Someone pointed out that, I think it was even Rich Samini was the first to point it out, that pick is basically the Hassan Reddick pick, like they get for 2022, 2026 too. The other only thing I have left, I know you have to leave. Sorry, I was late. I got they're filming some crazy movie outside of my apartment. There was guys in military uniforms and Humvees. I thought we were under attack. Then they wouldn't let me park my car. I wanted to say one more thing. Oh, the comps for Malachi Corley are awesome. So what is it? Debo, young Randall Cobb. Someone said cool. Rasheed Rice. What was it? Brett, the guy that you love.
Brett Coleman.
That video was good. Man, come on.
And the last thing I'll say is draft grades a day after the draft are taken with a grain of salt. Definitely, right? We get that. What you can grade is if your GM does the right thing. So if the Jets would have left this draft with 2 edge rushers, a corner, they took a low ceiling wide receiver, and like a tackle, you're like, damn, we had a lot more minor holes you could have fit. No, you take tackle, receiver, running back, quarterback 3, special teamer. Like, I grade in terms of that. Yeah. And offense, first time in Jets history, first 5 players were offense. Michael Nanny tweeted that out.
You know what? That's not even surprising. I don't even think it's probably not even the first 3 rounds.
I know. But hey, if you made this far, as we always say, DM us on Twitter. We'll always follow back the diehard Broadway Jet fans that made it to the end of the video. Mike, fun day. We'll do a breakdown at some point next week. I'm going on vacation for a couple of days, so maybe we'll rip when we get back. But very fun. The Jets got a lot better this weekend, and I can't wait for OTAs, training camp, and everything to come. So it's going to be fun.
That's right. See the boys in action. Good stuff.
All right, buddy. I'll talk to you soon.
Jet up.